Hey, everybody, welcome to another edition of the Rich Eisen Show here on Zoom from my home office as we are all sheltered in place. That's Chris Brockman sitting in his house, adding a nice new
What's
mic.
happening?
That's from your wife, huh? Your wife, Sarah's got that for you, right?
Yeah, she's got a podcast of her own with Rob Riggle, and they gave her some fancy equipment, so I figured I'd borrow it for this occasion.
And as we saw on yesterday's show at the end, Del Tufo's got a fancy large microphone, and you have now a fancy large microphone. That now leaves me without a fancy large microphone.
You have microphone envy.
I do have Mike envy right now, and Del Tufo envy. I've got it all, Mike and Del Tufo envy. This is really odd and a little bit awkward. I'll have to get a microphone, basically. Certainly, we have not one but just two guests today, and
Okay.
screwing around to see how this works right here. No, you're big and I'm small. All right, very good. So we got two guests today. The famed gamer Booga will be joining us from the LA Sentinels as there's a Fortnite competition going on here. And honestly, that's the only sport that's active is eSports because I guess you can do it just like we are doing, which is talking from our homes. And then our first guest up, however, is going to be the man of the moment from the coaching community in the NFL. As today, just about half an hour before we started recording this, Chris, Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers held a press
Still doesn't feel right. Still doesn't sound right.
for the arrival of Tom Brady to be the new quarterback of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And as expected, much of that conversation was about him departing New England. And as usual, Tom was saying stuff without really revealing very much. He is the king of that, man. 20 years of that. I mean, he knows how to do his job, no matter which organization is paying him. And so we've got Bruce Arians on the show. He's going to call in. And as you know, as I said yesterday, and we had Kurt Warner on yesterday, Chris, it was odd to me. This is the only way to put it, that Arians and Jason Light, the general coach and general manager of the Buccaneers, did not speak to Brady until Wednesday of last week. And all the reporting that we heard on NFL Network the Tuesday before that Wednesday during the conversation period that was legal for people to talk, that Tuesday before the Wednesday, it was as if, when Brady announced that he was leaving New England on his Instagram account, by the end of the day, I was on NFL Network. The Chargers said they were out based on what they thought and that the Buccaneers were in. And by that night, we heard it was the Buccaneers who were in, and Arians had not yet had a physical conversation with Tom Brady about very much. And I know Brady looked at all the video and all the film and obviously knows Arians. I'll ask Bruce if that's the case and what he thought Brady might have done to kick tires on him prior to that conversation. And obviously, we'll hit him on Jameis and everything else going on in that world. And I know you're just shaking your head, Chris, because it is truly happening. He's no longer your guy.
It's so funny. My mom is at home in Maine, staying in as well. And she's going through some old boxes and bins of stuff that my brother and my sister and I have still at her house. And she sends me a picture this morning, and it's this old Tom Brady jersey that I had got in 2006. And now I've got suddenly nothing to do with it. I have nowhere to put it. I don't even think I want it. I don't even want to look at it. It just makes me sad.
And you know this, that no matter what he does in Tampa, even if he does win a Super Bowl there, or even plural, right? And I'll ask Arians what he thinks about the opportunity to do it this year and what the team needs to do to get there. Because as we all know, the Super Bowl is in Tampa and no home team or home city has ever had their home team play in the Super Bowl that they're hosting. That no matter what happens, Brady at some point will have a rapprochement with New England, and his name will be in whatever rafters there is there, or whatever ring of honor there is there, and he'll be a Patriot for life. And then on occasion, he might be able to give you a reservation in Ybor City at the drop of a hat, depending on what he does there in Tampa. So. We'll hit on that with Arians. And the interesting thing is about Jameis. I'm wondering what he would tell other teams about Jameis if reached out to, because there is a glut of veteran quarterbacks on the market. And as you and I are talking right now, you and your big microphone and me sitting here without one, Cam Newton is going to hit the open market. And I said this a few weeks ago, Chris, 2 weeks ago, I think on our show from our studio, that the Panthers should just release him. They should release him. This business about letting him seek a trade and then having him basically say that that's a dreadful way to term it. He doesn't want to trade, and they're moving on from him. And they clearly are, having signed Teddy Bridgewater, which undercuts all of the Panthers' ability to get something of value back in a trade. Why would you trade for Cam if you know that there's nothing sustainable about him being the backup quarterback there in 2020? Why would you trade for him? So my thought was cut him. Now here we are a couple weeks later, and they should do the right thing. And I think they are going to cut him. Everybody expects him to be a free agent. And brings me back to the point I made 2 weeks ago and I made yesterday when we had a conversation about Todd Gurley getting a 1-year, $6 million deal and Melvin Gordon attempting to get what he could have thought he should get from the Chargers and then turning down something that I'm sure he would accept right now from the Chargers or any team since he's making less with the Broncos. Do not ever tell a player that you should not try and get yours. And if they backfires on them like it did on Melvin Gordon, it's on him. And do not tell a player to not try to get yours. Because after 9 years of 9 seasons of service in Carolina, it's over. Just like that for Cam. And the question, where does he go? You'd take him, right? In New England and heartbeat.
I would take him in a second. Are you telling me Cam Newton, when healthy, is not better than Jarrett Stidham or Brian Hoyer? He gives a chance to keep this Patriots dynasty rolling. He gives us a chance to win the division and advance far in the playoffs. Absolutely, I'd take Cam Newton in a second.
The issue is the NFL has, with the Players Association, told all teams that they have to cease all physicals right now because of the coronavirus pandemic, that all physicals need to cease and desist. And because, clearly doctors have got a lot more important things to do right now than ask players to see if they're healthy enough in the NFL. So Cam's going to need to go through a physical and complete it for any team that's going to want to actually bring him on. And then the question is, what team's going to bring him on? I mean, I'll repeat here again. I think that New England is going to sit back and let the market come to them, see who drafts who, and then whoever drafts who is going to go ahead and either release somebody that New England might want, or New England might go ahead and draft somebody themselves, the way that the draft is going to go. And then they don't need another quarterback, and they will go to battle with rookie / Stidham / Hoyer and try and win a division that they've been on top of. Shaking your head on that. But I mean, why would you throw your lot into Cam right now if you're New England or you're the Chargers? I think you have to sit back and wait for the draft and see who's available if you don't like your quarterback situation right after that.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, I think Jacksonville, you mentioned it on the show, I think last week, that would be a great and interesting spot for Cam as well.
That's the only other one, because otherwise you're looking at a backup role. I mean, for Jameis and for Cam, who's going to hire somebody right now as their starting quarterback? I mean, the Bears are all full up, clearly. The Patriots might be a spot, and the Chargers might be a spot, and the Jaguars might be a spot. I mean, the Redskins, are they a spot? I mean, they traded for Kyle Allen yesterday after we went off, and we all know that Ron Rivera knows Kyle Allen very well. So you're going to have Kyle Allen there along with, last year's first-round rookie in Dwayne Haskins. That reeks to me, Chase Young's coming in the number 2 spot. If I'm a fan, I heard that, I'm like, okay, now we're talking about our spot being the spot for Tua, whose workout video with Dilfer's voice in the background went viral yesterday, right? I mean,
sure did. Almost 2 million views already.
We are all jonesing for football and some sort of an answer on the quarterback front. So wherever Tua winds up, or Love winds up, or Herbert winds up, will, I think, affect this quarterback market. And so Cam, as he's cut right now, is going to be a free agent. And I think it's going to be a while until he's picked up. And then we'll see if Jacksonville takes him. I mean, Cam Newton and Gardner Minshew would definitely see around the pool there.
I think so. Do you think, let me ask you real quick before we go, do you think Chicago is regretting right now trading a 4th rounder for Nick Foles?
No, I think they love Nick Foles. I think Nick Foles is the perfect guy to have right there. As Kurt mentioned yesterday, Kurt's been in that position of being a Super Bowl MVP coming to another town. Obviously, Kurt had a Hall of Fame resume already built up in the way that Foles is not. No, no, no. I think Foles is the perfect guy right now.
No, I'm just saying in terms of giving up a pick, they could have just waited and got Cam Newton for free.
Unless they just like Foles better, which they might, because Nagy knows him from Kansas City, and they know the system, and he also, is just coming off of a collarbone as opposed to whatever Cam's coming off of, and I pointed to the wrong collarbone. So look, we've got coming on the show. The famed gamer Booga will be on, but I think Bruce Arians is calling it right now. Okay, as promised, he is the head coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers here on the Rich Eisen Show. He is Bruce Arians. How's the coach of Tom Brady doing?
I say he's doing extremely well right now, and hopefully everybody out there is healthy and safe.
Yeah, I bet. Exactly. That's the most important thing. Before we get into that, I mean, how are you handling yourself with coronavirus? Obviously, Coach, with you in a
we shut down the office, the other day, and then I've been very fortunate. My daughters flew in with my 3-year-old, 1-year-old grandson, so they are wearing me out.
Oh my gosh! So you're in your house with who? How many human beings are in Casa Arians right now?
Well, my wife, my daughter, her husband, and 2 wild Indians, little rascals, 3 and 1, and they're both walking and running. So I'm having a big time.
Gosh, yeah, you're having a flashback, huh? A little flashback right now to
yes, indeed.
the old days. Okay, so then let's get into the football aspect of things here. And Tom Brady. I mean, if I had told you that you'd be the head coach of Tom Brady at some point in your career, what would you have said to that, Coach?
When did I die, and how did I get back? No way. I mean, never did I think that he would ever leave New England. And, this year you kind of got a feeling maybe. So you do your due diligence as an organization and you rate all the quarterbacks that might become available. We had him ranked number 1. If it happened, we would make a concerted effort, and we did.
So walk me through, because I'm reading reporting here that is it really the case you did not lift a phone and talk to Tom Brady until Wednesday, the actual new league year day? Is that the first time you spoke to him about joining the Buccaneers personally?
Yes. I mean, that was, Jason had talked with his representatives in the legal tampering period, and we had to wait until Wednesday evening. I think it was Wednesday evening, and had a long conversation, and everything went well, and everything worked out. So I was as shocked as everybody else.
So walk me through, what was that conversation with Tom like when you first connected with him and started talking to him about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and joining your team? What was that like?
Well, just getting to know each other a little bit, and I did a couple of games for CBS.
Right.
So I was in production meetings with Tom, so I knew him that way. But just talk offensive philosophy, family, relocations, all those type of things, how great it is down here to live. And, the organization, we have great ownership and fantastic facility. And, then we start talking about football and how he fit. And I think what he brings to us more than anything is a proven leader of men that knows how to win championships. And, we've got a really good young football team that needs a leader like that.
So what do you say? Because obviously there's a lot of downtime for a lot of people to suppose these things. And as it was leading up to the legal tampering window, I guess, or the legal conversation window, is that Brady at entering age 43 and an offense like yours, no risk it, no biscuit, pushing it down the field, potentially sending everybody out in routes, is not actually a system fit. What do you say to that, Bruce?
I think they didn't watch the tape. And, he can make every throw still. But he throws to the guy that's open. We don't throw it deep. We throw the guys open. We share very, very similar philosophies. The way they run the ball, the way we run the ball, play action, do those things, empty formations, get it out quick. But if there's a deep matchup in a short pass, take the deep matchup. You're not holding it any longer. But, just throw it to the guys that's open, and that's what he's always done. So I think he's a perfect fit.
So what is the offense going to look like? Because I'm sure he wants to have some sort of say as to what he likes, dislikes, wants to maybe have a
Well, I
certain.
think that was a big part of, my philosophy has always been great collaboration with the quarterback, no matter who it's been. It's the offense of the Buccaneers. He's going to come in. He's going to learn the terminology. He's all in. I can't wait to get started. We'll steal some ideas from him. Whether it be third down, red zone, what his favorite stuff is. I'm sure it's in our offense already. Watching their tape, very, very similar stuff. So yeah, it was just a great. I love collaborating with great minds, and that's one of the greatest minds ever.
Did he lift the phone, based you can tell, or maybe you did, to Peyton Manning and have a conversation with him about you and vice versa? Vet you?
Not to that. I did not, and I do not think he did also either. But wouldn't be surprised because they are good friends.
Yeah, I know, and it's just I can't wrap my arms around the fact that he's not in New England anymore, and he chose you guys, and not just because of the fact that he's not in New England anymore. The fact that he's with you is just an amazing combination that I'm wondering if you've even wrapped your arms around that or mind around it yet yourself, Bruce.
Yeah, I do every day. I don't sleep much. I just can't wait to get started. Hopefully our country can kick this virus's ass and get back to going, and we can get into some form of a spring football philosophy of when we're going to practice and how it's going to work out, and get all that settled so that we can get started. We'll get him up to speed as fast as we can, and I'm sure he's already reached out to some of our guys about when we're going to work out together somewhere else in the meantime.
So let's just, in the few minutes we have left here with you, sir, Bruce Arians here on the Rich Eisen Show. I'm in my office. Bruce is down there in Tampa. We're all social distancing properly to have this conversation. So the Jameis of it all, what would you tell a team that knocks on the door maybe to you about Jameis if they're interested in his services? What would you tell them, Bruce?
Yeah, I've called a couple of teams that you're going to get one of the hardest workers you've ever had, and a great young man. It didn't work out for us only because Tom Brady was available, and we had Teddy Bridgewater. If that would have worked out, but if not, we were going full steam ahead back with Jameis. He's a great young man, and nobody's going to outwork him.
So you've lifted the phone yourself to call people?
I did. I talked to two teams.
You did, and I don't know if you're willing to. I'm sure you're not willing to tell which teams they are, but
yeah, I like to keep that one to myself. But
I bet.
Yeah.
What do you sense the level of interest is for him as a starter? Or
no, I think it was just to get him on your roster, and it would be a great fit. And one team was not interested in the other one. Hey, thank you for calling.
Okay. And, because as you know, I was there week 16, did the game, and Jameis had come off a ridiculous hot streak for a month. And then the pick sixes and the Bugaboos return in both games you were in. I mean, it really was amazing. So what would you say at the end of the day is something that just did not work out, click, anything of that regard, Bruce?
Yeah, I think it was that regression in those last two ball games after he made such good progress. You don't throw for 5,130 touchdowns and not have any talent. I mean, it's amazing. Those numbers are amazing themselves. Those turnovers in December made us look and see if was there something better behind door number two. We owe that to our owners and the rest of our football team to see, not thinking it's going to be Tom Brady.
Okay, so before I let you go, what else does Tampa need to do now that you got Tom? Obviously, the window's there, your window's there. It's now the next 2 to 3 years. There's eggs in the TB12 basket. We all know that. What needs to be done? Do you think to get this team on Super Bowl footing?
I think we've got a couple more guys to sign defensively. Hopefully, have a great draft and get them ready to play.
How much is your?
I think we were so close last year. I mean, 7-9 doesn't sound close, but you eliminate 20 turnovers and we're in there.
Oh, no, and the schedule last year. I mean, I personally witnessed some of your schedule out there in London and then to Seattle and Tennessee. You went a month and a half without being home. I mean, and then
yeah, it was crazy.
Exactly. So when it all comes down to it, I mean, do you think you've got yourself a Super Bowl team to put it right there in Raymond James for the first time, a home team being the true home team in the Super Bowl? Do you think you got that?
Well, I think our players believe it. Defensively, we need another piece to come back, and then, yeah, I think we have a chance to win our division and get into the playoffs. And once you're in the playoffs, you know, we've won it as a 6th seed, we've won it as a 1st seed in the past, and so it's just getting into the dance. I think, yes, we can get in the dance.
Okay, and when did you realize? I think Tom's coming to us. Was there a moment where you had an exchange with him? Anything? Did you want to?
Yeah, when I hung up the phone that night, I talked to Jason. I said, I think he's coming.
What gave you that impression? Just everything?
His enthusiasm. He was trying to sell me as much as I was trying to sell him.
No kidding.
His excitement level was off the charts. I couldn't wait to go to practice.
And then telling people in your family, telling kids, I imagine that Tom Brady's coming. That had to be a conversation for you, huh?
yeah. It's you know, they knew about the time everybody else knew, but it was it's still a little bit surreal.
Okay. And did you go over with him stuff about his maybe his trainer coming in and bringing all that into the fold? What makes him comfortable? Is he going to have a lot of say on that front, Coach?
Oh yeah. One thing I believe in is each guy has something different. You know, Ndam Kansu has some things and worked with him, and just whatever it takes for you to get ready to play on Sunday, I'm all for.
Okay. Well, maybe you can do the TB12 system. Have you ever had avocado ice cream, Coach? Ever had that?
No, I'm not. That's too California for me, brother.
You the man, Bruce. Stay safe, stay healthy.
All right, baby.
Congrats
you too, Rich.
Congrats on getting.
Thanks.
I mean, look, you've coached Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. I don't know who else has really done that. Quite frankly, you're a unicorn. You're a unicorn.
An old sexy one too.
That's I will never forget that. All right, be well, be healthy, be safe, and obviously enjoy having those grandkids around. Enjoy it.
You too, my man.
Yeah, that's Bruce Arians right here on the Rich Eisen Show. Thanks, Coach. Okay, let's switch gears a little bit from the NFL to the world of Fortnite and switch, I guess, generations from head coach Bruce Arians of the Buccaneers right now to one of the most famous eSport athletes on the planet. Joining me here on the Rich Eisen Show on Zoom, getting set to take part in a Fortnite competition and tournament for his LA Sentinels is none other than Booga. How are you, Booga?
Hey, I'm doing well.
I'm glad to have you on the show. Glad to meet you, man. I've heard nothing but great things about you.
Thank you.
You got it. So let's get into it. What are you about to undergo with the LA Sentinels, your home team, that people could maybe even try and knock you out or off? You tell me.
Yeah, so pretty much what we're going to be doing, we're going to be playing some Fortnite games, and in the games, the person who eliminates me or the person who wins the game gets $50. And the person, or if I win the game, then they'll donate $100 to COVID-19 relief efforts.
Well, that's great. That's amazing. Yeah. Okay, cool. So how many people do you think, and basically, so there's a bounty, if you will, on you and the rest of the LA Sentinels that'll be playing in this tournament?
Yeah. I think that's the $50 for the win and for if they eliminate me. I think that's the bounty.
I mean, do you think somebody's going to do that, or what do you think?
I mean, if there's a bunch of people on me, there's a chance, but if it's a one-on-one, probably not.
Okay, so is that you just flexing your Fortnite muscles right there? Is that
I mean, a little bit of confidence, but
well, I mean, you did win that tournament. You won the World Cup last year. How did that change your life last year, brother?
Yeah, it changed my life crazy amount of ways. I mean, first I started doing online school instead of going to public school. I could devote so much more time towards it. Started streaming more consistently. Just a lot of things came with that.
Right. So you got out of school basically around other people, is what you're saying. You started homeschooling in a way?
Yeah, I started doing online school, correct.
Okay. I guess that's the way everybody's going to be doing it these days, right? Pretty much.
I mean, yeah, I assume so, yeah.
I mean, so man, now at this year's Super Bowl though, what's your NFL team? Where do you have one?
So my NFL team's the Eagles, but sometimes the Dolphins also because that's my dad's team, so got to support them a little.
Oh my gosh, how's your dad run?
He's I don't know.
Okay, so who's your favorite Eagles player?
I'm not too invested into football, I'd say
Okay.
more basketball.
Okay,
So
so the Sixers are your
yeah, Sixers are my team, but also my players like LeBron because we have the same birthday, so I see like a cool connection there.
Have you ever played any video games with those guys? Have you ever gamed with any
Uh
athletes?
I haven't played with them, but I've played games that they're in like 2K, all that
Okay,
sports games.
so what is your best game?
My best game that like I'm skilled at,
Yeah.
I mean, it'd have to be Fortnite. I
Okay.
mean,
So then what would
everything
you
else I've
tell?
been okay at.
Okay, what would you tell? Because I've got kids who are 11 and 9 and 6. What would you tell
Mm,
them if they started getting into Fortnite? We haven't done that yet. I'm kind of an old school.
yeah.
We're wondering. All of his friends are beginning to play that. What would you tell
Yep.
them, Bugga? What would be your piece of advice for somebody who's doing that?
Yeah, so I guess best piece of advice, if they're not trying to get into competitive or even if they are, I mean, just grind creative, work on your builds. Also depends. Are they gonna be on controller or mouse and keyboard? Because like some of the practice is a little bit different
Okay, what would you
depending on it.
suggest? What would you suggest?
Um, I'd say as of now, I think it's controller. That's a bit easier to use
Okay.
than mouse and keyboard. So yeah, probably
Okay.
controller.
Now, what is your film study like? Because I mean, how does it relate to? Because there's a lot of obviously diehard sports fans who might think that you don't have the ability or the forethought or the acumen that this world has potentially to start doing film study and actually prepare. How do you do that, Bugga? I know you.
Yeah, so one of the things I do, I pretty much record all my games. Also, Fortnite does. You can go into replay files and watch them.
Right.
But I kind of just watch over what we do in the game and where mistakes are and what leads to them, and pretty much just try to correct them. So say we run out of materials before the very end of the game, I'm going back and watching like where did we lose the materials? Could we have rotated a little bit better and saved some materials, or what could we have done differently?
Okay. And how much of a day do you spend on that?
I'd say a day, you probably do an hour to 2 hours if you're getting really in depth, or if it's like a tournament that you want to rewatch,
Right.
because tournaments are probably the most important to watch over because those are the main events and that's what you need to perform in, right?
Yes, of course. That's why it's the most important to do something like that.
Exactly.
All right. So then outside of Fortnite, your best game is what?
Oh, maybe NBA 2K. I think that's my second game. I was
Okay.
pretty good at that.
Okay. And what were you the best at with that? I mean, jumper,
I mean,
defense?
yeah, so I think I was just like a decent player all around. Like I could play any of the characters' builds, and like when I'd hop on to my park with my friends, we usually won our games. We went on winning streaks. So
But your friends don't play against you anymore, right? I mean, that's not fair,
mm,
right?
yeah, I mean, I don't really play too much against them on Fortnite anymore. I used to play with them a little bit, but it's gotten a little bit harder.
Okay. And then what do you do outside of gaming, Bugga? What do you do?
Outside of gaming, I mean, right now, not much because of the things going on around the world. So kind of just at home. We're on lockdown right now, just
Okay.
playing the game.
Well, and you got your award from Steph Curry. So,
Yep.
right? So Steph Curry awarded you. Which award did he give you?
I think it's right there. I'm not sure if it's the eSports award, but I think it's the player of the year. I'm pretty sure
Okay.
that's it.
I mean, where does that rank? Somebody who's obviously is into the NBA as much as you are, have Steph Curry go and give you an
Yeah, that was pretty crazy to me. I mean, like literally the year before that, like I'm watching them on the finals, just seeing them compete against each other, and it's just crazy that he's handing me like a trophy, and it's just I don't know, it's just amazing.
That's so cool. So, all right,
Yeah, it's awesome.
here, Bugga, this is pretty cool. So yesterday I did this with Kurt Warner because now that I'm doing my show on Zoom for a while here, I'm imagining I'm going to have a lot of interviews with people in home offices or trophies all over the place. So walk me through what is behind you right there. I'm going to start doing
Yeah.
interviews. What do you got there?
So okay, so of course that one up there, that's the Fortnite World Cup trophy. That's the big trophy.
That's the big one.
There's the two little orange ones right there. Those are the eSports awards.
Okay.
And the other one was the eSports awards down in Texas. So
Okay.
those are pretty much my trophies there. And then yeah, and then let's get this in here. This is like a Booga poster, I guess.
Okay.
And the chair right there, that's the chair that I used in the World Cup. So it has the number on it too, which is really cool. Yeah, it's pretty much my setup right now. I haven't like added everything that I've wanted yet, but got most of it.
Okay, well, good luck.
Thank you.
I mean, so there's somebody basically right now going to join this tournament. Is it totally random whether they get you? It's completely totally random where they play you or not, or can they go somewhere to specifically try and knock you off, Bugga? What can they do?
Yeah, so I mean, what they have to do, they have to sign up on a website. They have to go to Sentinels GG, sign up on that, and then what they do from there, I'm pretty sure they email a code, and that's the code that I make. Okay. So only 100 people are going to get in the first lobby, or 99, and then myself. But yeah, then they'll be in my lobby, and then we just play the game out and see where it goes.
Dude, that is so great. And your name is Bugga Y, in case this is news to people.
So pretty much my grandpa originated the name back when I was a child. He used to say Booga Booga Booga, and I used to laugh when I was a little baby. So it's a cute little story, and just thought it'd be a cool name to use forever.
Yeah, there it is in infamy, and of course less than that. Hey man, congrats on everything that's going on with you.
Thank you.
In this tournament. I personally know Rob Moore, the guy who's signing your checks. I know him. I play poker with him. It doesn't really work out for me very well. So if I can't take money from him, you keep taking money from him. Okay, Bugga? You do that?
Yeah, got you.
Yeah, he takes more money from me, I'm sure. But you keep doing what you're doing, man. You do it for him, and you keep doing it the way that you are. And so many people are looking up to you at such a young age. It really is a responsibility that you're clearly shouldering very well. So thanks for the call.
Thank you.
Doing, brother.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Got
it. That's Booga right here on the Rich Eisen Show. Go try and knock him off in this 3-day-long Fortnite tournament that the LA Sentinels are putting on. That's Booga right here on the Rich Eisen Show. Okay, Chris Brockman returns right here on the show. And as we did yesterday, we're going to finish up strong with Mike Del Tufo. He's going to zoom in the middle of all this. And
okay,
yesterday he showed up in a Hunt for Red October babushka. Words I never thought I would say on Zoom or anywhere. It was a fun chat with Booga right there. I mean, he's just a 16-year-old kid, man. Just $3 million somewhere in the bank. And he said he's been homeschooling for a year, and because I mean he's a professional right now at age 16. Just hit it. Just somebody could be in a Fortnite game with him right now and trying to knock him off for bounty money. It's like a bounty gate. Unbelievable. And Arians, I know you hadn't heard that. Arians confirmed he did not speak to Brady until Wednesday of last week and hung up the phone and said, "I think we're going to get him."
What did he say that conversation was like?
He said Brady was excited, bouncing off the walls. And that's what made him tell Jason Light, "I think we got him." And that he said if anybody that doesn't think Brady's a system fit, because, Arian sends everybody out on the heap and it leaves the quarterback vulnerable, and Brady's going to be sitting out there like a 43-year-old sitting duck. He's like, "You haven't watched the footage. You haven't watched the film." And he says that we don't throw deep every time. You hit the open man. And I'll tell you what, man. Speaking of which, on tomorrow's show, we've got Caliendo and Joey Molinaro joining us together.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Maybe I'll have you zoomed in at the same time if you want to sit there.
Please.
Laugh
Please.
your ass off. At any rate, I'll tell you what, man. I mean, last year, Jameis threw for 5,000 yards. He had 2 Pro Bowl wide receiver teammates, right?
Yeah.
And now and they almost won week 16 and 17 if it wasn't for Jameis making some mistakes, and he led them back in both games against the Texans and the Falcons. They didn't have their Pro Bowl wide receivers in those games, and they still lit it up. I mean, they still had an offense to work it. So even with that setup, Brady would do well, I think.
Yeah, I think the stat I saw is that the Bucs had 41 giveaways last year, and Jameis was responsible for 35 of them. I mean, I can't see Tom Brady in any system at any age giving the ball away 35 times.
Right, I know. So we'll see. I think Del Tufo's zooming in right now. Hang on a second. There's the man. There he is. What's up, Mike? What do you got on tonight? What do you got today?
I cleaned up the back behind me because you made fun of my area.
That's clean?
And my mother,
Wow.
well, I added stuff. First of all, it's a toaster oven behind there. So it's the end of a thing. I mean, it's like I can't really clean up much, Rich.
My God.
But I added a lot of little trinkets.
I could see you added an Emmy Award and Mr. Bill. Is that
2 Emmy Awards, Mr. Bill. One of the original Cletuses from Fox. That's an original Cletus. There were 3 of these made.
All right, bring that over.
Oh, my God. Is there a VIP lanyard? Is that one of the lanyards from your birthday party?
Oh, Mr. Bill.
Mr. Bill, so on brand for Mr. Bill to fall.
Yeah, he did.
Break, though.
That was perfect. That actually was, oh, my God.
What is happening?
Mr. Bill did just fall.
That's so on brand for
This is one of the original Cletuses. This was actually, they made these. Richie Becker, who's one of the audio sweeteners at Fox, had this.
Okay.
And this was one of the originals. It actually weighs like it's like a real. This thing wasn't like a toy thing. They sold them after the fact.
Right.
But this was one of the original Cletuses. And it was funny. They picked the number 34.
Okay.
And I have to think, I never got why they picked the number 34.
I don't know either.
And I was like,
because he might be like a Walter Payton fan or something like that.
I gotta think the person that did it's from Chicago. That's what I'm thinking.
I don't know. Can you? Because again, you guys have the mics. I'm using my my computer mic for the moment. Can you hear the banging that's going on upstairs in my house right now?
Yes, I was going to ask you what was going on at your house.
Oh, Brockman, you got the blue mic. I love it.
Above me, okay, is the boys' room. Do you hear that thumping?
Yes, I do.
That's them playing with the, because there's a small mini hoop that's hanging from one of their closet doors.
Are they dunking up there?
Last night I had to separate the boys because they were just shoving each other around. Andrew loved dunking on his big brother.
We had a Nerf.
I mean, dude, I'm telling you, it sounds like my house is going to collapse. A, and then B. Chris, get used to this, man. It's coming.
I'm ready.
I know you got this little baby in your house.
I mean, by the way, he's 4 weeks old today.
Every single minute that they do this, I think that they're this close away from having to go to the emergency room in this crazy world of ours.
Oh my gosh, that's
so
you can hear that upstairs.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely hear that.
We hear banging.
They might come crashing through my office at any point in time. Like literally, this is part of my world right now. That's going on right now. But
we used to have one of those. Me and my brother Frank in our bedroom.
Right.
And we would we'd be up like slamming because it hung on the door.
Right.
Oh yeah, the old Nerf hoops, man. Those were the
you remember
best.
those Brockman? You hung it over the door frame.
No.
He would sit there and slam that thing. And
I must have broke one like every 2 weeks. We'd have to go to the Five and Dime and get a new one.
It snapped. It would just snap off. Like you would literally slam dunk it. And we were like not that tall.
So you can hear that upstairs, right?
Oh yeah.
100%.
100%. Oh, do you want show and tell for the day, Rich?
That's part of our world. Oh yeah, just finish up with show and tell for the day, and then we'll wrap it up because.
So here's show and tell for the day.
It's about to fall apart.
We'll see if you remember this, Rich. We did the Pro Bowl in Hawaii, and now newly minted Hall of Famer.
What do you got?
This was Troy Polamalu and his father did a skit with you.
Huh.
And they did like a fire where they lit this thing on fire.
Right.
And they did they spun it. And it is signed by his father and him. Newly minted Hall of Famer. We called this the Polamalu. I would keep it in audio. And if you made a mistake, I would be like, you're going to get Polamalu'd because it had this hook. and this like sharp thing that's now no, it's gone. It's like completely.
That looks dangerous.
Could you?
You could hurt yourself over there.
No,
Mike.
I know, but it was
You
like
slice a bagel with that thing in your kitchen? Can you do that right now?
no, it's real. I dulled it so it won't cut you. Like it won't.
Okay.
It won't cut you. It's completely.
Could you
Well,
imagine,
it probably could pull something with this.
could you imagine you just go walk in Del Tufo's house or you break in or something like that. You choose, and then all of a sudden he comes at you with that thing.
And he's like twirling it around, and he like
Like
comes
a-
after you.
Like a luau. Oh,
Yeah, his father and him did the skit. I don't know if you remember yet,
I don't remember.
but I have the
you got-
original. They built this, and this was the. I used to keep it in the audio room of the NFL Network, and I have it.
Hey,
It's one of my.
Mike, congrats, buddy. Yesterday, our first Zoom show, we had Kurt Warner on talking about everything going on in the world with Brady and Jameis and Cam, who's getting released, and Nick Foles and all this stuff. And the interest in the NFL right now, as we know, is that it is at a premium, as we're all looking
Through the
for
roof.
escape, right?
Yeah.
But the most watched video that we put out yesterday, Mike Del Tufo showing off his whole ops in his kitchen, bro.
Yeah, by the way, just so you guys know, I was going to let you know,
Yeah.
no, I got to go. I actually have to go serve on the waters of the Redondo Harbor right now.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I mean, I got to leave.
Why
I'm
not?
sorry.
Why not?
Adios, my
Mike
friend.
Del Tufo.
I love you guys.
Stay healthy. That's it for this show. Again, subscribe to our YouTube page. Everything's going to be sitting right there. Go down a wormhole. We got over 15,000 videos there from the 5+ year history of our show. You can listen to Mike Heller doing our radio version of our program while we're all sheltering in place right now here in Los Angeles. That's out there on our podcast, which you hit on our app. And again, our YouTube page, youtube.com/Rich Eisen Show. Thanks to our friends at Crispy Chicken for putting this whole show together. And appreciate everybody who helped, Steve Webster and the Buccaneers who helped us with Bruce Arians, and then Rob Moore and our friends at VaynerMedia who represent Booga. Guy's a 16-year-old with representation. God bless the world, man. So thanks to everybody for helping put this one show together. Tomorrow we'll be back on our YouTube feed as well as our Twitter and Instagram feeds with our guests together at the same time. Frank Caliendo and Jolie Molinaro. That's how we're rolling. Everybody needs a laugh. That's how we're going to roll on Wednesday.
we do.
Thanks for taking in this program.